Large format tiles are quickly becoming a very popular option for tile nowadays. More and more of our clients are choosing large format tiles. We just completed a beautiful bathroom renovation project with 24 by 48 porcelain tiles, and it turned out absolutely amazing. I actually do have a video of us transforming this bathroom, so if you guys are interested in that, definitely make sure to check it out. But if you're watching this video, you guys are probably wondering, is it cheaper or more expensive to install large format tiles like 24 by 48 tiles, 30 by 60 tiles, or 32 by 64. Those are some of the popular options for large format tiles. In today's video, I'm going to be covering that topic, so definitely make sure to stick around to the very end of this video to see why or why not it is more expensive to install large format tiles. So let's dive right into today's topic. Now, the biggest misconception is that large format tiles are easier and quicker to install because of how large they are and how much of an area they cover, and just the fact that there are fewer tiles to install than if you were installing, for example, subway tiles or 12 by 24 inch tiles. However, that is not true at all, so definitely don't be fooled by this misconception. So getting right into the points, generally speaking, it is actually more expensive to install large format tiles for many reasons. How much more it is to install larger format tiles, or if it is actually more expensive to install larger format tiles, really depends on the contractor that you go with. And the main reason to that is that it requires a much higher level of skill to install large format tiles than smaller tiles. By far, the most difficult part about installing large format tiles is actually cutting them. It is much more difficult and time consuming to install large format tiles because from our experience, that is the number one thing that we figured out to be the hardest. Something that you guys have to realize is that us contractors can't use the same kind of tools that we use to cut, 12 by 24 tiles or subway tiles. It's just not the same kind of tools. It's not the same technique or skill level to install those kind of tiles as it is large format tiles, which means that we need to use much more advanced tools, which are going to be much more expensive than the regular water saw that you can get for $400 at Home Depot. With that kind of water saw from Home Depot for around $400, you would be easily able to cut 12 by 24 inch tiles, subway tiles, mosaic tiles, all those things. That's the regular saw to use for those kind of tiles. But like I said, for large format tiles, it's a completely different set of tools that you need to have in order to professionally and precisely cut them. The real professionals that install really large format tiles, I'm talking even bigger than 30 by 60, will have what's called a bridge saw. This is going to be a saw that's very expensive, few $1,000s for sure, even $5,000 for like a really good one. So just that saw alone is how much it costs. And for the blades and everything like that, it's also very expensive for that kind of saw. But actually the most popular way of cutting large format tiles, maybe you've actually seen it somewhere else on social media, like on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. People will actually use one of those saws where you score it across and then you slice it in the middle and it gives you two perfect cuts. However, that only works for a certain size of tiles. If you're looking to install much larger tiles, you will need a much larger tool of that kind, which is going to be much more expensive, and just a smaller kind of that tool will be actually very expensive, a few $100s, that's for sure. So that type of tool, but to cut even larger tiles that are going to go across 60 inches, is going to be much more expensive. It's going to be a few $1,000s. And also those tools are very big and very heavy, so the price may be a little bit more expensive just based off of the fact that they're so heavy and hard to transport. They take up so much space in the car, in the truck, in the van. They take up so much space in the area that you're cutting. And that's another huge factor that goes into the price of installing large format tiles. Over the saw that I just mentioned where you score it across and you cut it, it's only going to work for if you have straight cuts. If you're looking to have a shower niche built into your shower for shampoo, then that method is not going to work. Your contractor will need to have a different type of tool, which is going to be a saw that you can actually make the cutout for the niche. Not only will the contractor need to know how to use that kind of tool and method for cutting out openings for shower niches, but also for the shower control valve, you will need to have that cut out as well. Basically, that's the most difficult part about installing large format tiles: the tools, how expensive they are, how big they are, how heavy they are, how much space they take up. All those are big factors going into the price of installing large format tiles. But also something to keep in mind is that large format tiles are very heavy and also large, of course. So in many cases, it actually may require more than just one person to install that tile. So when you're having large format tiles installed, you definitely want to make sure you're having someone very skilled and experienced installing those tiles and cutting them, because the price per square foot in general for large format tiles are actually more expensive than 12 by 24 tiles or subway tiles, most of the time you will see prices of at least $3 and up, and you are laying that whole entire tile. So whether it's 24 by 48 or 30 by 60, if you do end up cracking that tile and breaking it, or doing a wrong measure that is going to lead to a wrong cut, then that whole entire tile is pretty much garbage unless you can actually find a way to use it in a different area. But it could end up to be very expensive if you end up doing this yourself and you don't know how to do it, and you end up doing not precise cuts or breaking the tiles. So if you guys have never installed large format tiles and don't have the tools or skills to do it, I would definitely leave it to the professionals, because at the end of the day, it will actually cost you a lot of money to install these large format tiles, even if you're doing it yourself. If you don't have the right tools, then you have to buy, of course, the tools, which are going to be much more expensive. And like I said, if you aren't experienced and you do end up breaking the tiles, then you will have that whole entire tile, which may cost $50. That will go into the garbage, so it's going to end up being very expensive, especially if you keep breaking those tiles. However, there are definitely some benefits of installing large format tiles, like, for example, you have fewer grout lines, which is going to be better for the long run because it's going to be more durable. It's going to be less likely for the tile to leak through that grout. It's going to be easier to clean the grout lines to keep them in a good shape. And also, large format tiles are great for higher foot traffic. So if you are putting them at an entrance, this would be a very good idea, because there's typically more foot traffic there. So you will be able to avoid the amount of grout lines there and how much cleaning you will have to do with that kind of tile. Large format tiles are typically much thicker than just your regular subway tiles or 12 by 24 tiles, so that definitely adds to the durability of those tiles. But like I said in the beginning of the video, if you are planning to have large format tiles installed in your new bathroom, definitely take into consideration that it will be more expensive to install those tiles. But that is going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy this video and found it helpful, definitely make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel if you are new. Comment down below what kind of videos you guys would like to see next. If you guys have any recommendations or suggestions on which videos you would like to see next, please make sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.